Welcome everyone. Welcome to Butcher and the Beard. I'm David Butcher. That's John Shanley. And
Good morning,
good morning.
Dave. I know you're a little bit under the weather.
Yeah,
Uh, it's been a long time since we broadcasted, and a lot of stuff's gone on.
yeah.
But I'll do most of the talking today. Um, so let's see for where to start. Last Monday I was supervisor, and then all of a sudden I go from one cage to another, and I get two tweets in a row. The first one was that Saquon Barkley signed with the Eagles, and then the next one was that Garrett Cole, the Yankees ace pitcher, is having problems with his elbow and was going to be shut down for like 2 months. So I'm just like, as a sports fan, it's like how to get kicked in the nuts. It's like that, your best player just signed with another team, your rival team. Like what the fuck, man? And like, there's obviously a lot of reaction going on, um, from Giant fans and this and that. And like my initial shock reaction, I was kind of pissed. But now, as I've had some days to stew on it, I don't. I'm not mad at him. You get mad at the organization for not matching that deal or giving him a deal so he wouldn't leave. But I feel like, um, you know, I feel like the way that the Giants view things in the front office is that they just, they can get running backs for cheap, so they want to spend the money elsewhere. They went and they signed that defensive tackle from Carolina, who's a, five-time Pro Bowl or whatever. So now you're strengthening the defensive line. And I think about some of the moves in the past that hurt your feelings at first because you got attached to these players, but in the long run, it makes more sense. Like Tiki Barber was the last kind of like really great running back we had, and then he retired, and then they traded Jeremy Shockey, and so all of a sudden in that locker room that became Eli Manning's team, and then they go on to win the Super Bowl. So like sometimes like it was Saquon's locker room, and maybe they want to give Daniel Jones a chance to be his locker room now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where the organization's going. I still think they're going to draft a wide receiver, um, but that's my take on that.
Yeah.
Real quick, like I said, when it first happens, your feelings are hurt, and you're like, "What the
Yeah.
hell?" But in the long run, for the organization, I don't necessarily think they're wrong. Because as great as Saquon is, like, when's the last time a running back, led their team to a Super Bowl? You know what I
True.
mean?
It's true.
It's part of the whole thing.
And you picked up Devin
McCaffrey came close
Singletary.
last
That's nice too.
year.
You got Devin Singletary. That's a good pickup. So
Oh yeah, incredible,
yeah, so that's not
incredible
bad.
pickup.
Drew
So
Lock, I think, is a.
no,
I don't know about Drew Lock, but you're giving him $5 million and
right.
4.95 million of it's guaranteed. Why didn't you just give him the 5 million guaranteed if it's 4.95 with the tax? And Brian
I know
Burns is a
it.
humongous addition. Brian Burns is an
Mm-hmm.
animal, dude. Is I was shocked that you guys even.
Right.
I'm shocked that the Panthers did all this work and then they traded Brian Burns. So
I know.
they've been doing so much work in the offseason to trade one of their best players. But hey, if you can get him for a couple picks, take the chance. He's an animal. Dude is a beast. So
Yep.
yeah, but you're right, man. It does hurt.
A lot in free agency. Kirk Cousins to the
Kirk
Falcons. That's
Cousins,
that's
that might be
interesting.
the dumbest trade. I mean, the dumbest signing for the Falcons. I'm not saying he's bad.
Well, they haven't
The
made a lot of
money, the money,
smart moves lately, so
yeah, the money is just,
we'll see how they perform.
yeah. That money, I never seen a player like they bitch about. Like I want the fan base to. What if Tua would have got a contract like that? Like
I know.
what I mean. This Tua is 26 years old and gonna get literally probably 2 more million than him a year. Kirk Cousins only got two playoff
Hmm.
wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he got
yeah. I
paid.
mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is a long term goal for them, but they signed him for 4 years, so
Yeah.
like,
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know.
Kirk
I don't
Cousins is
know
a
what.
bad quarterback, but fuck, man, that's a
Yeah, they're that's a long turnaround, and like you can turn around a franchise quicker than that. So I don't know. You might as well just sign. You just might as well draft a rookie if you're going to go for 4 years. You know what I mean?
yeah, 180
So I don't
million
know
dollars, man.
what's
That
going on.
that is crazy. How old is Kirk Cousins? 30 something.
Yeah, he's no spring chicken, that's for sure.
He got 100 million
So
guaranteed out of that 4 years. So he holy shit.
I guess they're feeling long term.
Like, don't get me wrong,
Uh,
Bijan Robinson's an animal, so I get why. And there's so much talent on that Falcons team, man. You got freaking Bijan Robinson now, Kirk Cousins. You got what the hell is his name? Can't even think of it. Kyle Pitts. You know what I mean? He's a talent that was supposed to
yeah,
come
there's
out
a
of
lot.
college. So, but yeah,
Looks like the Raiders releasing Jimmy Garoppolo. Chargers releasing Mike Williams. I'm not surprised about that. Poor Mike Williams, man. The guy had an injury, season ended, and then he gets cut.
I wish I could put some of
But
the.
those guys will get.
I might put some of the
Those
tweets
guys
that
will get.
or some fake tweets that Mike Williams
Oh yeah.
wrote. There's a fake Twitter, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving for a team that actually has a winning quarterback." He was like a fake burner account, like that was from Mike Williams. It was hilarious because he was just dogging
Right.
what's his name, Justin Herbert.
Uh,
But Mac Jones getting traded to the
well,
Jaguars was crazy. Happened right after
yeah.
our show, literally.
Yeah, well, there's just like so much to go over. Obviously we can't go over every single move, but man,
Yeah,
lot of big things happening in the NFL. Which is good, because everybody's got something going on. Um, let's look at basketball. The Knicks, they got OG Anunoby back, and they won. They killed us, depleted Sixers team. Let's see what happens. They have a 4-game road trip. I'm hoping they go 2-2. Best case scenario, but we'll see. We got a game tonight. But the big game tonight is Lightning and Rangers. We were talking about this earlier. As of right now, could be a preview of the first round.
yeah,
I really hope that doesn't happen. I'd rather have the Islanders, who's the second play-in seed. I'd rather play them as a Rangers fan. I'd rather see the Islanders in the first round. Not that it would be easier or not. It's just I feel like I want to see the Lightning, have a nice long run. I want to see the Rangers have a nice long
yeah,
run. You know what I mean? I'd rather play against them in like the conference finals. That way, this show and our fan will have a lot to root for a few weeks. I don't want to see one of us go home after the first round. And I'm like I said, it could be either one of us. That's the NHL. It doesn't matter where you know where it is. But I feel
yeah,
like you have the interstate rivalry between the Rangers and the Islanders. That would be really really fun. And also the Florida head to head matchup, Tampa and the Panthers and Tampa. I really think Tampa, even as good as Florida is, I think Tampa takes that series. Like Tampa just they just own, like similar to how they own the Leafs. They just own the Panthers, and the Panthers gonna be as good as they want. Vasilevsky gets hot in the playoffs. That's it. You're
yeah.
done. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what it
So and
is.
Lightning,
They got lucky that
championship
Maple Leaf
pedigree.
last year got them, and they continued their run.
Mm-hmm.
But if I feel like if the
So
Lightning were in there,
that's what I'm rooting for at this point. But tonight we get hey, maybe we can get a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals. You know what I mean? Rangers have had the upper hand in the regular season the last couple of years against you guys, but we have lost 2 straight playoff series to you guys. So it is what it is. That's the NHL. It's the beauty of it. I have no love or hate for the. I actually have nothing but love for the Lightning.
yeah,
Being the transplant down here in Tampa. One of the things that most really stood out to me was how much love that the Lightning get down here. Being obviously hockey is like a northern sport, but coming down here, how much support and how much people love Lightning. Like Buck fans, like for the football, it's like whatever. We're happy the Bucks, this and that. We support them, but they're not quite as crazy and passionate as the Lightning. And I mean, I guess it's helped that the Lightning have been a very good team the last few years. But even before they won those 2 cups, when I first moved down here, like there was a lot of love, a lot of big time.
yeah,
Lightning fans, and it's really transcended the city. So I would definitely say as a sports town that Tampa has everything. their number one love is for the Lightning.
I
So
believe so too,
and well
because
deserved.
yeah, because when I
It's
moved up
obviously
here,
paid off. They've won 2 cups in a row, and had a chance at a third in a row. But yeah, they're competitive every year for the last at least 10 years,
yeah,
and it's awesome to see good hearted fans rooting for them. So
for sure, nothing wrong with that,
uh,
man.
no, nothing wrong with that. So but they do right now have they're locked in that in one of those wild card spots. They're
Yeah,
they're not falling out of the wild card, but they're kind of a good amount away from getting into that other.
yeah,
They're like they're like um they're like 6 points out of the next of the team ahead of them, and but they have like 2 games in hand. So I don't know if they're going to catch them. I mean, there still is enough games left. There's about 20 games left, but usually if it's more than 6 points at this part, unless you get super super hot,
yeah, for
and
sure.
one of the teams ahead of you is cold. But now is a fun time. We're coming into the college March Madness. We're coming into playoff hockey, and now it's like you kind of see the teams that are going to be in it, and now you're just kind of rooting for certain matchups. Um, Not sure what's going on in the West. I don't really follow the West in hockey like that.
Yeah,
Uh, in the NBA, I do, but all these teams are close, and now you're just kind of looking for matchups and like who's gonna who do you want to face in the first round. As of right now, the Heat are back down into that play-in,
yeah, I know. They're
but I still feel they're an eighth, and they would play Indiana. So actually, you know what? When I look at the standings, that might not be so bad. Like, because you figure if you win that, you're probably going to play Milwaukee. If you lose and then you win the other playing game, you're going to play Boston. So
yeah,
Miami's not afraid of either one of them. But I
no,
kind of feel like if it ends up like this, I would love to see it where Miami wins and plays Milwaukee in the first round, and then Indy loses and then wins the second game, and then they get Boston. I want to see Indiana Boston because Indiana can give them problems, and I want nothing but problems for this Boston Celtic team. They're dominating the regular season.
yeah,
I want them to fucking struggle in the fucking playoffs. So I want them to play teams that they struggle against. So I want to see them play. I want to see them play Indiana in the first round. So however that works out for Indiana, if it's losing to Miami and then beating like I don't know Chicago or Atlanta, it'll probably be Chicago. Atlanta's lost Trey Young, I think, pretty much for the rest of the year. So they're not going to be competitive, but they're so far ahead that I don't think they're going to fall behind, Brooklyn, in that last playoff spot. So they're probably going to lose that first game, and then it's up to Indiana or Miami. Now the Sixers, they're another one. They most likely without Embiid, they'll probably fall into that spot. So we'll see how it works out. But either way, because Milwaukee and Cleveland, they're neck and neck for that 2 spot. Right now, Knicks are holding on to that 4, and as of right now, we would play Orlando. I'm okay with that.
yeah,
A
for
healthy
sure.
Knicks team coming back against the young and inexperienced. Now Orlando has had a good year, and I know they're 3-1 against us, but like they've caught us at rough times for us, and when it comes to like playoff experience, I'm not afraid of Orlando at all. Um, in that first round, like I could be dead wrong, but you never know. So
Yeah,
I would totally take Orlando in the first round. You know, so and I kind of like Cleveland up there. I like to see them, do a little bit better. I think if we ended up playing Cleveland again, we'd beat them again because we're just a tough matchup for them. So, but I look at Miami. There's nobody that scares them. You
no,
know
no matter what, it's how they're playing. They turn it up in the playoffs. So
exactly. They turn it up in the playoffs. They've been there before. They reached the finals as an 8 seed last year, so they don't care if they're
yeah,
in as a 7 or an 8.
and that's
They
what they
beat all the teams that are in the top. They beat them.
yeah.
So they're not afraid. So we'll see. In the West, it's the cluster. Overall, everything I'm seeing, the Clippers, they're the only team that I feel like if they're healthy, they could give Denver a scare.
Yeah, Denver's
But
hard,
all the other
man.
teams, like everybody else, I don't see them beating Denver in a playoff series.
No.
I just don't. Oklahoma City has a great record. They're, you know, but they're inexperienced and they don't have a lot of size. Minnesota, they just lost Karl Anthony Towns. That's huge for them. But even if they did have him, Denver's just got a little bit too much in the fourth quarter. Um, all these other teams, the Pelicans, they're very good, but they're not gonna overcome Denver. Sacramento, same thing, up and coming, and then your Phoenix, Dallas, Lakers, Golden State. None of them are, you know, Golden State. I think they don't have Steph Curry anytime soon, so they're not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
The Lakers, they could upset some of these other teams, but they're not beating Denver.
No.
Dallas, no. I watched Dallas last night, and it was an impressive win. They beat who they beat last night. They beat it was a pretty good game. They beat Golden State. Obviously, Golden State did not have Steph Curry, and they didn't have Draymond Green. But as I watched the Dallas, I'm like, they're so guard heavy. Yeah, they can get hot, but they have no size, and
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to compete with these bigger teams. As good as Luka is, going back and what they've done the last few years. I get it, they made it to a conference finals a few years back when they had Brunson, but I don't they've never paired Luka with a good big man. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
feel like if he had somebody if Luka and Joker were on the same team, they'd win multiple championships.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to stop them, those
Yeah.
two together. It would be incredible because you'd have Luka at the guard who can do it all, and then you have Joker in center who can do it all. So
Yeah.
instead of going that route of, hey, let's get a good, really solid, consistent big man to pair with them, they paired him with Kyrie Irving because the opportunity, that's who they could get.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they works for a little bit, but there's no size. They have size on the roster, but not the same caliber of talent as that. I was like, I mean, I wouldn't want to give them up, but if they had a Julius Randle, they'd be incredible, instead of Kyrie Irving, because you'd
Yeah.
have a dominant forward, and you'd have Luka, they'd be incredible. So who knows? Maybe Luka will want to be a Knick next year. Maybe he'll want to play with Brunson again and make it. I'll take him.
Yeah. No. No
All
one's
right,
gonna. No one's gonna say no to Luca.
I don't
You know
think
what I mean?
Dallas. I don't think Dallas will trade him, but
Yeah.
like I said, I look at it and that's what's successful. I know, we talk about NBA is kind of like positionless at you know with people guarding each other and this and that, but it's still not positionless, and you need size. And the Celtics are a perfect example. They're a big team, so even their guards, they're big guards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking huge on that team. So it's you need size in the NBA. You, yes, Jordan won all those championship, and he was considered a guard, but he was also 6'6". You know what I mean? He wasn't small. Most of these teams that win, they have dominant big men. Joker, Giannis. The Warriors were kind of that one team that didn't really have that, but then when Kevin Durant was there, they did. They had
Yeah.
size. You know what I mean? And they have good role players in size. It's just they have, those couple championships where it was the, it was Steph and Clay and Draymond, who aren't really bigger, but that's really an anomaly because most of the time, you need big men to dominate in the NBA.
Well.
So
Yeah.
right now, in the West, Denver's still my favorite. Barring any kind of serious injuries to any of those guys, but that's how it is, and that's how the NBA is. And I feel like people want to say, well, injuries have affected the NBA playoffs the last few years. Throughout history, throughout the NBA, injuries have affected the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? And most of these teams that win the whole thing, they end up healthy. And they get some breaks along the way. So, it is what it is, and one of these teams will probably have a devastating injury in the playoffs, and you just kind of go from there and see how it works out. Hopefully your team gets lucky. Um, so that's about it. I did not watch the NASCAR race last week. Uh, I'm gonna blame Morgan for not coming on with us, but
Yeah.
the truth is I had other engagements, and then it was in the middle of the day. So by the time I got home, I turned it on and I watched like maybe 3 laps or whatever, and then it
Yeah.
went into a caution, and like I couldn't tell you if it was exciting or not because, like I said, I didn't watch it. I guess I'll turn it on. Are they on this week?
Yeah, this weekend you got to
You
watch
know?
it. Make up for that. But no, I didn't watch it either. Morgan
Yeah,
didn't
I
hype
don't
us up. Morgan
know.
didn't hype us
My
up.
ESPN app is acting up, so I can't see what's going on. But I'm sure there's a race this weekend, and hopefully we'll get live and we'll get Morgan on with us,
Yeah.
so we could talk
Yeah,
about
he
that
said
because
he
I
had a
still
little
want to talk
cold.
about it the last couple of weeks. But we have some good NBA action this weekend. We have good NHL action coming up. Now these teams are starting to turn it on. Like they're getting ready for the playoffs. They're
Yeah.
trying to get positioning. They're trying to get themselves seated. NBA is weird because I feel like in the NHL they don't care. They just want to make sure that they get in and
Yeah.
that they're playing at the level that they want to entering the playoffs. Where the
Yeah.
NBA is like, well, if we tank a little, we can play this team or we can avoid this team. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like they do that a lot, especially in the West with all this star power that they supposedly have. But yet, I like the Celtics. Obviously, they're going to be like number one. They're looking to get home court throughout the entire playoffs. So their biggest thing is to get the number one seed.
Yeah.
Everybody else is going to have to come through them. And they have teams like Miami who's like, I don't care as long as we get in, we'll do what we got to do. I feel like the teams in the East are just like, let's just get positioning and whoever we play, we play. But then I feel like teams in the West are like, well, you know what? Maybe I don't want to play this one in the first round. Maybe we want to play this one. Maybe we want to do this. So they kind of, you still want to get in, but you want to navigate it. And like I said, the way that the West is right now, you can kind of do that because every team is pretty much set 1 through 10, and it's just a matter of who's going to be matchup and who's going to be in that play-in or whatnot. But
Yeah.
like, if you're the Lakers and the Warriors, you're kind of not afraid of the play-in because you've made it into the playoffs and made runs, that way before. So you could do it again. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Tonight's going to be a good night for me. It's going to be a late night for me because we got the Rangers and the Lightning, and then at 10 o'clock the Knicks are in Portland. So I'm going to stay up and watch that whole game. I'm going to try anyway.
Yeah.
My body might just be like whatever, and I might fall asleep. And hopefully, it's a Knicks victory tonight. But that's pretty much it. That's all I got. I know I did a lot of talking because Dave was a little bit under the weather, but I like to talk anyway. So, and there's days that, maybe if I'm under the weather, they will,
I definitely
back
will.
me up because that's what
Uh,
we do here.
that's it.
So,
But yeah,
oh
no,
well.
there's a lot of stuff
So
going
we'll
on,
be
so
back
it's awesome.
Saturday morning, right?
Yep, Saturday live.
Saturday morning, live.
Yep.
If not, maybe Saturday afternoon. Who knows?
No.
That's what we do. You never know when we're going to drop a live show. That's what makes us unpredictable. So,
Yeah.
please like, subscribe, tell your friends about us. We've been going at this for a while now.
Yep.
We're gonna be having our 50th episode soon, right?
Yep. And we got another subscriber, so thank you guys.
Ooh, thank you. All right, man.
Yep, we did it. We're
All right,
almost
Dave,
there. But we're out.
take us out.
We're out of here.